everybody, it's Cindy through thick and thin. Today is February 15th, 2012. I haven't been on because my dad passed away on November 30th. And it's been very, very, very difficult for me, to say the least. I knew he had the cancer, and I knew that he didn't have long, although I did think that he had until like May. Okay. Sorry, my cats are running like nuts. And the week before he died, we had gotten a really great prognosis. I don't even know. Prognosis? Diagnosis? No, I don't know. Anyway, we got good news that the radiation therapy that he was doing had shrunk his cancer a lot. And we thought he was going to be around for, even longer than May. And it's pretty good news, and we were both happy. And my father didn't know that he had up until May. I never told him. But it was pretty good news because it was amazing, like, that it was working. And November 30th, the doctor had called. They said it very nonchalantly. Your father's heart stopped beating. We're trying to revive him right now, And I was just like, okay. And I hung up the phone and I was in shock, and I couldn't believe that this is where we were because, just the week before we had gotten the good news, and I couldn't believe it. And my father really died from something stupid. He died from the most dumbest thing ever. And it wasn't even the cancer that killed him, and it kills me. And this could have been, his death could have been prevented. But apparently, when you are terminal and you have cancer, they refuse to cut into you, even if it's going to prolong your life. And I feel like they killed him. I feel like, to me, his life, and to him, and to my mom, to my family, like, his life was worth prolonging. And kind of feel like they killed him. And I had a lot of anger in me, a lot of anger for a while there. I mean, I went through every emotion under the book. Anyway, the doctor that day, called me back like a few minutes later, maybe even a minute later, I don't know. My timeline for that day is blurred. To ask me if they should continue to work on him because he had been dead over 12 minutes, and I had to make the decision whether to have them stop or to keep working on him. And I kind of didn't even answer the doctor. I just handed the phone off to my husband, and I was just listening, and he's like, they're still working on it. And, like, as they're working on my father, he's giving us detail by detail, like, what's happening, and they're doing it, like... And I just thought to myself, I said, oh my God, I said, this is it. And I said a little prayer to God and to my father at the same time. I don't know. But I said, please, don't let him leave me this way, don't let him leave. And then I said, Daddy, I said, please, Dad, don't let me have to make this decision. And literally after I had said that, like a second or two later, the doctor says, he's back. We have a pulse. So I was like, okay. So I get in the car. I go there. I get there. They tell me I probably have like 5 minutes left with him. Like, he's gone. I got there. My husband dropped me off and went back to go get my mom, which would have been like a 40-minute trip. 40-minute trip, round trip, and it was during rush hour, so it could have been even longer. And I got there, and I said everything in the world that I needed to say to my dad. Everything. I just kept talking, right? So, I had nothing but love for him. I don't know, I wasn't like scared, crying. I felt so much love for him. And they were like, it's not much longer. And I said, Daddy, and I just put my hand on his heart and my hand on his head, and my father's heartbeat and his blood pressure went higher and higher and higher and higher. And I didn't tell you before all of this. I said, Dad, if you could hear me, move your eyes, because his eyes were half closed. And he was on the machines and everything, and he didn't move his eyes. So I was like, wow, he can't hear me, but I still kept talking anyway. And then with the hand in the, when I put my hands on him, I think he just knew I was there. I don't know if he heard me or not, but I knew he knew I was there. And they come in, the doctor sees that, like, wow, he's doing so much better, and they can't believe it. And, he was just about to die, and all of a sudden he came back again, like body-wise, like blood pressure-wise, heartbeat-wise, like everything just rose and got really good. So the doctor's saying to me, if he comes out of this, because his heart and his blood pressure were so good, I really should make, the type of life that he would live, and it would be horrible, and, most likely brain damage because he was dead for so long, and no oxygen to the brain, yada, 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 the whole nine. And while the doctor's saying all this, my father's heartbeat and blood pressure started going down, down, down. So I think my father was listening to everything. And the nurse turns around, she goes, I've never seen anything like this. And, the doctor was just like really surprised. I said, look, I'll make a decision. I know what decision I have to make. I said, and they were, and I was like, but let me, wait till my family gets here so we can make it together. So the doctor leaves. He explained everything to me. Doctor leaves. Talking to my dad. Just about different things. Everything goes up really nice and high again. And it was almost even nicer and higher than the first time, when I touched him. And it's looking good. It's looking really, really good. And I'm like so happy. And I kept saying, Dad, if you're going to fight, I'm going to be here with you. I'm going to fight with you. And, I told him everything. Like I said, I just kept talking. I mean, he must have been like, whoa, because I was just like, I thought I just had only so much time with him, and I just needed to say everything that I could possibly think of. I mean, I said sorry to him for things that I did to him when I was a teenager, and I just talked and talked and talked and talked and talked and talked. And everything was going up high, and it was looking good. So then this bitch, and I'm going to call her a bitch, and I don't usually use that word. Honestly, I don't. But this bitch, doctor, comes in the room, and she sees that he's doing well. So she starts to say, Mama, what are you doing? She starts to say, you have to make a decision. If he gets off, to pull the plug, you have to make a decision. He's going to have brain damage if he comes out of this. And if he comes out of this, and she starts to say all this stuff. And I said, whoa. And now when she's saying this, and she's saying that, like, make a decision now, and she's getting nasty with me, and I was like, whoa. I was like, whoa. I said, do you see what you're doing to him? I said, all of a sudden his blood pressure and his heartbeat start going down again. And I said, leave. I said, the other doctor had already explained this to me. I told you that when she walked in the room, I said, I told her, I said, the other doctor explained everything to me. And now she's pushing me. She's like, make a decision, make a decision. Yeah, I'm like, leave. And I wish I could have told her to get the fuck out, because I would have, but that's not in me. But I told her to leave. I'm like, leave. I'm like, leave now. Leave now. After like 5 times of leave, because my father's, everything's going down so low. And I think he just heard what type of life he was going to have after all of this. And, she leaves. And then I start talking to him again. And I said, look, Dad, I said, if you can't fight this, because this man's blood pressure and his heart are going up and down like crazy. And even the nurse said, she's like, my God, I've never seen anything like this. And I was like, I didn't know, you know, whether he was going to stay or not, but, you know, whenever he would hear the doctor say these things, I mean, I'm sure he was just like, wow, you know, how am I supposed to live like that? And, because it wouldn't have been good, really. He kind of, it went up again, and I was talking to him, and I told him, we're going to be okay, I'm going to be okay, and if you have to go, go. Don't, you know, stay for me. And there was a lot of other things said, but anyway, it started going down pretty low after I finally, like, kind of told him that we'll be okay and he can let go. Like, I'm giving him permission, so it's going down low, low. And I'm like, oh, wait, Dad. I was like, just wait till Mommy gets here. I'm like, please, give her closure, you know, because then the nurse came. She's like, wow. It's like, as I was talking to him, it was like he was almost saying, like, okay, I will go, Sin, you know, and then, you know, it started getting down so low. The nurse was like, I cannot believe this, you know, and she couldn't believe it. And I begged my father, because it got down really low. I said, wait till Mommy gets here, Daddy. Please wait till Mommy gets here. She's going to need to say goodbye to you, and she's going to need closure. My father never wanted my mom to see him in the hospital. So he would always kind of get upset when she came, because he didn't want her to see him, you know, like in the way he was or whatever. And he did wait. He waited. They literally got there, my husband and my mom. They said their goodbyes. They said, you know, and this must have been like a minute or whatever, maybe 2 minutes. They got to say what they wanted. Maybe it was just a minute. I don't know. And my mom goes and she kisses him on the forehead, and he dies. The minute she kissed him on the forehead, he died. He passed. And it was the way the whole day went, even though he was dying, was actually very beautiful for him to go like that. It was beautiful for his blood pressure to go up. It was amazing that I said that little prayer and he comes back. It was, you know, like, if he had left, if he had died the first time, I wouldn't have been here right now. I would have been a wreck. So now, getting back to, like, why I'm able to even be here today. Besides that, before he died, I had asked my father to want me. I said, don't do it in a scary way. I said, but do it so that you can let me know that you're there. I said, not just 1 or 2 times. And I said a whole bunch of times, Daddy. You know, like, I was saying all this stuff to him. Because when I was little, my father was very, very, very much into energy. And he could take a spoon, right? Like, he would always try to, like, I don't know, he was into energy, like energy in our bodies. He would take a spoon and he would hold the tip of it. So he's holding the tip and you have this long spoon, and you would see him and he would start shaking, and it was like he was doing something, and all of a sudden the spoon would bend. It would go, it would like bend, and it was so amazing. And I knew, because of how strong my father was with energy and will, and he knew, I don't know, I just knew if anyone could come back from the dead, it would be him. It would be him. My father was like an amazing person. He had this thing like with the animals. Like, I used to say when I was little that my daddy was Dr. Dolittle, because he could just do this thing, like he'd go, Cindy, watch, and he would hold out his finger and he would do this like whistle, and all of a sudden butterflies would always, and this happened numerous times, will come and just land on his finger, and then he would show it to me, and, you know, like hand a butterfly to me. And it was this weirdest thing, and we had like squirrels who used to come into our house, and my father would hand feed them, and he would just make funny noises, like a squirrel noise, I guess. I know, I must sound funny. And he was like Dr. Dolittle. I mean, it was the craziest thing. Like, animals just like were really attracted to him. I don't know. But the butterfly thing was pretty amazing. Even the squirrels We named our squirrels because my father would just, I don't know, he would like talk to them and all of a sudden they would come up to him. Squirrels don't do that, you know, and that was for years and years and years, you know. We never had like a pet squirrel. They were just like wild squirrels who would literally come to our house, walk in the house, come in the door. I mean, just for food because my father would tell them to. But he just had this energy about him, and I think it was because he always used to practice that. And, you know, he always used to teach me about things, and he was an amazing, amazing person. He was very smart, and I don't know. He went from 8th grade to 10th grade to 12th grade. He skipped 9th and 11th grades. And like, he was just a smart person. I don't know. And I just felt if anyone could come back from the dead, it would be him. And not the day that he died, but the day after, he made it known that he was there. And we've had a lot of freaky things happen, things that cannot be explained. Some things I tried to explain away because I was in so much grief. I just didn't believe that it was him. And I can honestly say now, because of my experience that I had the other day, that it was him. But anyway, my father has been doing things and was doing things to let us know that he was here. He was doing it to my mom too. And I was so grief stricken. I don't know, maybe I was overlooking it. But anyway, one day I woke up and I had this overwhelming feeling to go to a medium. And I was like, how do I go to a medium? Like, I felt it, every fiber of my body. I had to get to a medium to talk to my father. And I was like, how do I go to one? Like, I didn't know. And that whole entire day, from the very morning till the nighttime, it was probably like 9:30 at night, I was feeling grief. And, you know, I was thinking about the medium. But anyway, the medium had nothing to do with the grief. I was just so grief-stricken. My girl that I know who had married a friend of ours, I only met her probably like 3 to 4 times before this. So I don't really know her. She doesn't know my father's name. She doesn't know my background, nothing. And she had called me, and she didn't call me. I had texted her to talk about, you know, because she had lost her dad, and, you know, does it get easier and all this. And by the end of the text message conversation, she said, oh, by the way, on December 30th, I'm going to a medium. Would you like to come? And I was like, yes, you know, and it was like in shock. And it was like this weight had been like, and it was like, okay. I was like, now I'm going to a medium, which was very strange. And it just turns out that a friend of hers had asked her that very same day also to go, that she had got tickets or whatever. And because she had lost her father and she's so, you know, upset about losing her father's to go. And so anyway, I was excited. And I knew my father was going to come through, because why would I have that feeling all day of go to a medium? That wasn't like my thought. It was just a thought, of an overwhelming thought that wasn't my own. And I told my father to say, you know, a few things, certain things. And lo and behold, my father did. My father came through. He was the second person to come through. There were 6 mediums. My father was the second person of the night, you know, to come through. And she said him by name. She stood in front of the girl in front of me. She goes, I'm feeling it over here. She went on to tell me so much stuff, and I had told my father to say specific things so that I would know it was definitely him. She said them all, and she even addressed a conversation that between my husband and my mother that I had been having about 3 to 4 days that nobody knew about, not the girl who I went with, that we were thinking about doing something. We didn't know, you know, whether we should do it or not. And apparently my father heard the whole conversation, because the medium told me all about it, and my father said it would be good, and I couldn't believe it. And not only did my father come through that night, but I had 4 other people come through Not really. 3 people and my dog came through. Specifically for me, it was the craziest thing. So there was 4 people and my dog. So, but I had 5 read-ins that night. 4 out of the 6 mediums read us. I got read the most in that room. And I felt bad because my friend didn't get read at all, like her father. I just felt so bad. But anyway, there was like 35 people there, and it was an amazing experience. But my dad came through wholeheartedly, and I knew he would, and that was him telling me to go. So it's pretty cool. I can't, you know, if I even go into detail what my father has done so far, I'll just tell you 2 more things. And this is just, you know, 2 of the many things that he's done. On Christmas Day, we had him cremated, so we took the box and we had it on the sofa. And my husband had been sitting near him, like kind of with his arm around my father, and he fell asleep. So I took the camera and I know it's weird that we put my father's remains on the sofa, but we did, and just comforted us because that's where he always sat. And we took the camera, I took the camera, and I was taking pictures, and then my camera wasn't focusing, it was like view, view, view. So I'm like, what the hell? And I'm looking in the camera, and all of a sudden this white light flies in the camera, and it wasn't a bug, it was like a ball of light. And it went so fast that in the camera it left like a stream, like a tail behind it. And I couldn't believe it. And, you know, but I was taking multiple pictures, but I was trying to take pictures. And I guess even after that I was still, you know, like trying to take the picture, like, hello, come on, you know, it's not focusing. And I had seen that thing, and I didn't really think about it. And I said, Ma, I think Daddy's here. I said, because I seen this ball of light. And it was a wicked ball of light. It wasn't like no little bug or piece of dust. It was like a ball of light. But I only seen it in the camera screen. I didn't see it, you know, with my own eyes. You know, I seen it in the camera. I was going through the pictures last week, like, and I didn't even notice this. So it's like normal picture, normal picture, normal picture. Now, for some reason, I was like clicking because the thing was like through the whole time. Like, it would let me take a picture, but then it wouldn't. So I was just trying to click. So it was like 3 normal pictures. The 4th picture came out with this white, elongated figure sitting on the couch next to my husband. And then the next picture came out normal. So there was like a fog or a mist, or it was freaky, but it's not the shape of a person with arms and legs, but it was kind of elongated sitting on the couch, and I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. So I'm like, okay. So anyway, I seen that last week, and I was just like, wow. Then I haven't been feeling my father at all since like the middle of January. Okay, and I was feeling really bad, and I was just like dismissing, because I haven't felt him. I was dismissing every single experience that I have gone through. Dismissing everything. Dismissing it all. Because I was grief-stricken, because I was like, maybe, you know, he really doesn't exist. And maybe, you know, like I have faith, but, you know, when you're grieving, your faith just flies out the door sometimes, and mine did. And I was just like, maybe I'm going crazy, maybe it didn't happen, maybe I want it to be him so bad that I'm making it to be him. And I was just so grief-stricken, and this happened to me the other day, about maybe 2 or 3 days ago. I was laying in bed, and I don't know, I was like laying on my boyfriend's back, and I felt very safe and secure, and he was sleeping. There was just like an energy flow like through us. And I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but there was an energy flow there. And I was in a twilight sleep, and all of a sudden, all of these flash pictures, like, they were like pictures, but they were like little, like, not a still picture, it was like moving pictures, but they were so quick. There was like, it felt like 100 of them. It was just like blah, 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 pictures of my father and different memories, like, that I didn't even remember that I had. Like, they were just flashing in my head, and I was like seeing all this. And I know I sound crazy, guys, but it doesn't matter what I sound to you guys, because to me, it's just what I feel. So I had all these pictures, and I felt all of a sudden, like while this was happening, I felt something or somebody, it was like somebody put their hand on my head, like literally put their hand on my head. And I opened up my eyes because I'm like watching these pictures, but then I opened up my eyes. Of course, the picture stopped because it's not in my head no more. And I was like, hi, Daddy. And all of a sudden, I got this whoosh of like, God, I don't even know how to explain it. It was like a hug, but on my whole entire body. And it felt like pure love. And I know this sounds crazy. And that was my daddy. That was my dad telling me, hey, I'm here. Didn't go anywhere. And I haven't felt the grief or the sadness. I mean, I'm still sad that he's gone because he's my dad, right? He's my daddy. But, oh my God, what an amazing experience. And I just sat up in bed and I was like, euphoric. It was like a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful moment. It's beautiful. And I know he's there. And I know that was him, because why would I get, like, I felt someone touch my head, and then the million flashes of memories I didn't even know I had. Like, it was like I lived my whole life over with him just in those flash pictures. It was the freakiest thing, I gotta tell you. And then that's why, like, when I don't know, I just felt him again, and I just opened my eyes and was like, hi, Daddy. And then bam, it's like this, like he just enveloped me in love. That's all. So I'm okay, guys. I'm okay now. I hope it lasts. So far so good. You know, it's only been a few days since I've had this, but since I've had that experience, I don't try to explain the other experiences away, and I don't try to say, oh, well, maybe, you know, the psychic just got lucky, and the medium, psychic, whatever, that person got lucky. And if I could only tell you the other people that I got read, I mean, there were amazing readings that night, and I don't know, it is what it is, right? So think I'm crazy, think I'm not, you know, to each their own, to each his own. I'm okay now. My dad exists somewhere else, just not here physically. Definitely here, though. He's definitely here. Okay? Alright. Bye. Thank you for listening if you stayed with me this long. Bye.